Alright, this on here. This damn, I think it flashed on me. But yeah, just on here real quick, and we're gonna talk about this Sunday night game for a second, and just to just to see a lot of the kind of the same stuff out the Chargers that you see from a week to week basis, and it's I mean, it was a winnable game yesterday for sure. And they just no show. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking that, how it started, it looked it looked good, as far as first half it was 16-3. I was like, all right, so they're gonna do something. And then they ain't do nothing in the second half, nothing at all. And shit, I wanna start it off with well all right, so let me see what this crap is. No, they not even saying it. Like, I was looking for something. No, that ain't even what I want to look up. I'll probably look it up. Yeah, I gotta look it up. Yeah, I gotta look this shit up. My bad. All right, I'm gonna get my thoughts back. But yeah. So the game, it started off kind of like it was a wash in the second half. It was 16-13, and 49ers gave Chargers a heavy dose of the run action. Elijah Mitchell, he came back and he kind of give them that, a different pedigree when he running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, they solid, with C-Mac and Debo, but then you also throw him, he another dude that they can unleash on you. And it definitely, it definitely it makes a difference for them. You feel me? I mean, Garoppolo, he could do his thing. He had, be a game manager. He had 240 yards, 19 completions on 28 attempts. And then you got that's solid with them. They don't really need him to throw for no 300 yards. It's all about um just don't do no dumb turnovers. And he really wasn't getting harassed like that. So he kind of just kept moving the chains, and you holding the ball for 36, because the running game I thought was way worse as watching it. They only ran the ball for 157 yards, less than Mitchell. He the only one that had over 4 yards of carry. But as a team, they had 157 and two touchdowns. Receiving the ball, Ayaku, he had on 7 targets, he caught 6 for 84. Samuels, he ain't really do too much. They probably didn't even need to really force the action with him. He had 6 targets, he caught 2 for 24. Kittle, he had 2 targets and caught 1 for 21. So um the offense did their thing. I mean, it was a low scoring game. They didn't have to get out of character, and the game was within the game flow that San Fran liked to play. You get what I'm saying? They had 3 sacks. Bosa had a sack, and they had 9 QB hits. And let me see, interceptions, and they got 1 interception. That was that last one, to kind of seal the game. But for the most, it was just a San Fran type of game, and then you flip it over to the Chargers, and once again Herbert had under 200, because He don't want to. He don't want to challenge none of the secondary at all. I get it that you missing your All Pro tackle and you missing your All Pro center. So he got hit, but he wasn't getting harassed all the way around the board. And in the second half, the play calling just was ridiculous, and they just nobody made no plays. I mean, 21 to 35, 196, 5.6 yards to pass rating of 73. That ain't shit. They ran the ball 51 yards. I mean, it's always hard to run against that defense, but teams have been able to do that. So you only give it a effort of 51 yards and on 16 carries, and yeah, you ain't do nothing running the ball. So you ain't ran the ball 51 yards running 100 and 100 what 87 187 as far as or 187 as far as passing. Like that ain't shit. Carter, like out of all the people, who would they say is a guy that you would say could threaten them down the field's Palmer? And he had 3 for 44, 25-yarder with his longest. And Carter had a 33 as his longest on 4 targets. And he caught all 4 for 64 and a touchdown. But what I don't understand is, like, why you not calling more of that? You know what I'm saying? Like if you boggle your man down, Everett, he had 2 on 2 targets, 2 for 23, 17-yarder was his longest. And Eckler had 7 catches, 39, and off 12 targets and stuff like that. And I tell people about that shit with him. You can't get fooled by his stats, especially contributing in the passing game, because a lot of his shit is like, it's not like they calling a play and he running 10 yards down the field. A lot of that shit is like close to the line of scrimmage. You dump it off to him because you're getting harassed or you're getting shook in the pocket. You dump it off to his ass, and then he's starting to have all these catches. But if you see his average 5.6, he getting, oh shit, somebody on my line, I'm gonna throw it, and then he throw it to somebody, and then at the end of the day, you say, he got 12 targets, and the reason because the man everybody just want to dink and dunk. You know what I'm saying? They don't call no like passing attack where you can see where they can get some mismatches. In the second half, they didn't do none of that. And you know what I'm saying? And then you got a turnover on downs and in the fourth quarter, and you just, I don't know, you just look like you wasn't ready to play. You wasn't ready to play, and you thought that you would get some momentum, getting that win that they did on the road, and the fact that they are a better road team than they are a home team. You would have thought that they would have had a better showing. Now you could say, all right, they was able to play within the San Fran style, right, and still be in the game, but they didn't make none of the third downs in the second half. Like, look, third down, you got 6 to 16, 9 to 17. Like, you ain't gonna get it done. You ain't on the field enough. And your people ain't getting them off the field, and so they hold the ball for almost 30 plus minutes. You ain't beating them. They gonna that's grinding your team down. You get what I'm saying? They only had Khalil Mack had a sack and QB hits. They only had one. So that right there tell you that out of the whole game, the quarterback was not really harassed. That's why it was just they was flowing. You know what I'm saying? Had no issues, and so you could just say, all right, they just played a solid defense, and maybe this could kind of, be a good team building going forward. But I don't know. You just see it. Next week you got KC. KC gonna blitz your ass as far as passing the ball. I'm thinking that they should split, because I call for them to split with KC. But if they don't get that win, like if you look at their wins, all they did was beat on teams is under 500. They ain't really beat on no good teams. You know what I'm saying? And when they played somebody that was good, they lost to them. You know what I'm saying? So their record is starting to look real flawed, and you feel me? And you know now this is the time where you got to get your sea legs going before you get into January. So you know the fact that I don't know, man. I just not sold in the culture. And then you got the rumors that Sean Payton possibly could go to Oakland. That's dumb right there. I wouldn't even let that happen. I would fire my coach if you got an opportunity to get him, and he gonna be a team building, like acquisition as he is, where he gonna change the trajectory of your franchise if he get the right quarterback and the right people, because he gonna get everything lined up pretty well, you know what I'm saying, especially if he chooses to go to the right team. And so, um, yeah, I'm checking that out and saying like, yeah, I would clip the coach and get Sean Payton in there ASAP. Coach ain't showing nothing. He don't really his defense, all right, yeah, but this is second week. I mean, the defense didn't really he don't really take nothing away. The thing that the best about the opposition that you play, he doesn't really take that away. You feel me? The other team really does whatever they want week to week. And so if you saying you this the defensive guru, it's just week to week. I don't see the shit. I don't see the hype. And I say he should be one of the main dudes that's on, you know what I'm saying, on the chopping block. Like, yeah, if he don't get this team to the playoffs, wild card position, he don't find himself in one of them 7 spots, he need to go. You feel me? Now I get it. You ain't got none of the top receiver. You don't got Williams. You ain't got you ain't got Williams. You ain't got Williams. You ain't got Allen, and you ain't had them for a majority of games. So now you can't even use that as excuse. You got who you got. I've been saying from the rooftops they need to feature Everett. They don't want to feature Everett, and then you want to throw it to these dudes that's really punt returners and shit. They not really meant to be a number one or a number two. They meant to be like a 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? Where they could be on the third corner or the fourth corner and stuff like that. You got them facing the other dudes, top dude and second dude. They not gonna do shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, he was getting harassed all night. But that's every week though. So that ain't even no excuse no more, because every week he gets harassed. But he still find a way to stay within the flow of the game. But this week just I ain't see it. And now his record is starting to get uglier and uglier on prime time. So people need to start paying attention to that. Like maybe you a guy that them lights and all eyes on you. Maybe you not that guy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So when I thought it was an upgrade from Phillip Rivers, at least Phillip did win a few primetime games. This guy, he ain't beat nobody. He ain't who he like I said, when I try to dive deep, the past few primetime games he has lost up until last year. I think he like on an offer, like 0 for 4. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, maybe the last time I remember him winning on a primetime game was versus Oakland, and maybe that was the season opener. That's the last one I can remember. All the other ones, he kind of been taking slugs, but I think he might have beat Pittsburgh. I gotta look because I'm trying to find the stats and I can't find them, but I think he just maybe not a dude that gonna perform on primetime or whatever, but. That was just an ugly performance. If I was rating it as as just somebody watching it, I say it was a D because the offense ain't do shit second half, and they actually had the lead, so it was a D. You know what I'm saying? Like the announcer saying, yeah, they should be proud of they. Nah, they wasn't. It wasn't nothing to be proud of. You ain't take the run. I can see if you took the run away, and so I guess what you proud that they didn't run for 200 yards. And they only ran for the amount they ran for, but they held the ball as long as they wanted to hold the ball, and so I didn't really see what you say you be proud of. Your defense ain't do shit. Defense ain't harass them and force them in position where they had to throw in order to win. Cause that's how you take San Fran out their game. But they ain't do none of that shit. So yeah, at the end of the day, that was just another ugly performance, another thing that he put out there on tape. You know what I'm saying? Once again. And so, like I said, I dove into their records, and which beat Cleveland, Jacoby Brissett. You beat the dumpster fire, which is Oakland. You beat Denver. They also, I don't even know how they did that, but the Denver defense did everything possible for them to get that win. But the fact that their offense is just letting them down, that's the reason they losing most of their games. So, you ain't beat nobody. You know what I'm saying? What? Yeah, and then Atlanta last week, and Atlanta solid. I ain't gonna talk them down, but they also under 500. So, they maybe maybe they really a flawed team, and that's why they record shows what it shows. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. All right, thanks for listening.